Hey everyone, so today we are talking about the highly controversial and talked about eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Subculture palette. Before we jump in, I did want to remind everyone that I do come out with new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, so be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and make sure to turn on your notifications so you know right when my videos go out. I'm sorry if you hear some noise going on. We've got birds going crazy outside, and there's some sort of construction going on in the building, so I apologize if there's any weird random sounds that you hear throughout this video. So if you have not seen this palette before, it is brand new, came out very recently from the brand Anastasia Beverly Hills, and there has been a lot of talk, a lot of trash talk, a lot of love, a lot of mixed feelings about this palette, and I feel like people either really love it, really hate it, or fall in the love-hate section. I personally fall in the love it and hate it section. First of all, we'll take a look at the packaging itself. Very beautiful, soft touch, velvet. It will get dirty very quickly if you leave it out with all of your other makeup, but very, like I said, very soft, very beautiful. If you keep it in a drawer and you don't let it get cluttered with the rest of your makeup and just make sure not to have powders fly everywhere near it, it will stay nice and clean like this, but it really depends on how messy you are with your makeup, and that may either be a positive or negative for you. It's meant to be the sister palette to this one right here. This is the Modern Renaissance palette, which was one of the top-selling palettes last year. It comes with a dual-sided brush that says Anastasia. It's got a nice flat shadow, and it's got a fluffier, less dense end. It does come with a mirror, which is also a plus in my book for this. So I personally love these colors. I have hazel eyes, so I love anything with greens and deep brown red tones. I do really love Modern Renaissance for that, because the warm reds in this make the green in my eyes pop, but I think the colors in this also will. So if you are someone with hazel eyes, I think you'll really love the color selection, even if you don't have hazel eyes. They put a lot of thought into the color theory of this. I don't personally know too much about it, but if you research into it, they did a lot of pairing of certain colors for specific reasons. This palette is very powdery, so if you do not like a lot of powder kick-up, you may not like that fact to this palette, but if you are familiar with the Modern Renaissance that came out before this one, that one also has quite a bit of powder kick-up. Now there are certain shadows in here that I find I get a bit more powder kick-up than others. Dawn in particular gives me a ton. Roxy, and I would say even All Star. Those were the three that I really noticed a lot of powder. The most difficult shadow in here for me is Cube. I use it in the tutorial. I have it on my inner corners, so you will see me use that shadow. You won't get anything with that shadow with a fluffy brush. You have to use something flat, and dense. Something I really don't like, and what makes me have a love-hate relationship with this palette, is they are difficult to blend, and I know that's been going around like crazy. These shadows are definitely harder to work with than the shadows in the Modern Renaissance palette. However, I think a lot of that has to do with how you apply eyeshadows. This is extremely pigmented, which is amazing. The shadows, I'll put in the swatches now, they show up so well. You just have to really dip your brush in very lightly and you're gonna get bam, color. Now, if you go, like I was getting to, if you go in with a heavy hand, it's gonna be more difficult to blend because of how much power there is in the pigment. So I would say if you are a heavy pan hitter, you are going to get a lot of kick up and you're going to have a hard time blending out the pigment that you just plopped right on your eye. I found the most trouble with the deeper shades in that regard. The lighter shades, they take time to blend, but they're not as difficult as the deeper shades. These deeper shades are gorgeous as a lower liner color or just as a eyeliner color in general. So if you love using certain eyeshadows in palettes as a liner and you can't be bothered with pencil liners or liquid liners, that is a huge plus with this. These look gorgeous and you don't need to work very hard to get them as liners. I know a lot of people have already talked about how some shades when combined can be muddy, so you just have to really keep in mind what colors go well together when you're putting them on your eye. It can take a lot of working with, and I think this isn't a palette you can buy and just immediately jump into it and fully understand or know exactly what you're going to do with the shadows given to you. Unless, I mean, you could be really great at doing that. I'm not knocking anybody, but this one is a little bit more difficult to figure out matching, is what I'm trying to say. So as a quick little love and hate relationship list, I love the packaging. I keep it in a drawer so it doesn't get very dirty. I love the magnetic closure, has a mirror, comes with a brush. The color selection is beautiful. I love the colors, very fall, but also wearable for year round because of the peaches and the yellows. The peach and the yellows go really well for summer and spring as well. I think for makeup lovers and makeup collectors, makeup artists who already have their technique laid down and they're used to using more difficult shadows and have techniques quickly to deal with that, I think they're gonna love this. For those who want to get shadow quickly, they want those greens, they want these colors, but easy, it's not going to be for you because it does take work. It's available at Sephora, it's available on Ulta, it's available on the Anastasia website. I got mine off the Anastasia website because it released there first. This retails for $42 US, which I think is the same as Modern Renaissance, so same price, you're getting the same number of shadows. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prep my eye with Urban Decay's Eyeshadow Primer Potion. This is going to make the eyeshadow go on smoother and stay on longer. Since there's not really a shade light enough in the palette for me to use to set down my eyeshadow primer, I'm just using a loose setting powder. This is from CoverGirl. It's the True Blend Mineral Powder. This one is in light, and it does have a tiny bit of color to it, darker than my lid, but it's still lighter than the lightest shade in the Subculture palette. It also does have a slight shine to it, but I do really like setting my face with this powder, and it does work well as a eyeshadow primer set down thing. For the crease, I'm going into Roxy, and I'm just going to start building that right there. Very light-handed because these shadows are extremely pigmented. Quick blend. These are tougher to blend. Then we're taking New Wave on a flat eyeshadow brush and pressing that down all over the lid. I find that pressing with these shadows is a lot easier than trying to swipe them along. Crazy pigmentation. And we're just building up Roxy a bit more and making sure that the two shades are tied together. Then with the same brush we're going into Dawn, and that's one of the most powdery shades I found in this palette. And I'm just going to bring it up to the brow bone. Then we're going to take a denser brush. This is the Morphe E18, and we're going to go into All Star. Be careful when you're using deeper shades from this palette, especially on denser brushes, because they are very pigmented and extremely difficult to move once you place that color down. I'm also bringing that partly in the crease, just in the outer edge of the crease. Then we're going into Cube, which is one of the most difficult shades in this palette, at least in my opinion. We're using this as an inner corner highlight and under the brow bone. I like Cube, even though it's difficult with this color combination, because it does have that pink tone to it. So I'm just using Kat Von D's tattoo liner, and I'm going to create my wing. The nice thing about doing a glitter look is you don't need your wing to be very precise. And then I'm going to go over the wing with this guy right here. This is from Tarte. It was, I think, limited edition, but I also have a dupe for you. Pro glitter liner in, I think it's rose gold. Yeah, rose gold. But I mentioned in a video a while ago that this is a pretty good dupe. This is from Revlon. It's the Photo Ready Eye Art lid line and lash, and this is in Peach Prism. So if you don't have this one from Tarte, you could certainly use this one as a substitute. So I'm just taking the glitter end of that. You could also keep it this way and not add any glitter at all. And just applying a ton to the wing. I'm not sure why I was feeling the glitter so much today, but you know. And then I'm taking Ardency In's Modster eyeliner, and this is in black, I think it's just, yeah. And I'm just putting that on the lower lash line. You can also tight line with it as well. Then we're taking a flat brush into Rowdy and putting that right underneath. I think this color is a great substitute for a black in the palette. It's a beautiful deep, deep purple. Brighten things up, we're taking New Wave in the front edge here. We're going back into Roxy and placing that further in the front as well, and even a little bit underneath Rowdy. And then finally we're just popping back into Cube, and then we'll just add the rest of the glitter. The glitter will probably get on your lashes. And I almost forgot, I just take a little bit of Rowdy to tone down the glitter on the top. Just a little, so it's not so in your face. And of course we're curling the lashes and applying some Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And that is the final look using the palette. I hope this review and tutorial was helpful to you in formulating an opinion on this palette. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of on the verge of loving it, on the verge of hating it. This was the third time that I've put the shadows on my eye and played around with them, so I'm starting to get a better idea of how they apply and what's easier and what's more difficult about it. Let me know if any of you have picked up this palette and what your thoughts are and what you'd like to see next in the comments down below. I'm always curious and love to have conversations with all of you in the comments. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if any of your friends like beauty videos, send them this way, because once we hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be doing another giveaway. So that's super exciting and you don't want to miss it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.